everyone and welcome back to the Science Hub. Today we are going to see about sex determination from various bones, second part. So in the first part we have gone through the sex determination from skull, mandible, pelvis and sacrum. So the today's content are sex determination from thorax, then from femur, vertebral column and at last sex determination from medullary index of long bones. Before that, we would see, according to the Krogman, the degree of accuracy in the sexing adult skeleton remains. That we have also seen in the first part that at the scene of crime or the crime scene, if we are getting the entire skeleton, the sex estimation would be 100% accurate. But if we are only getting the pelvis, then it decreased to 95%. Then only skull, again it decreased to 90%. But if we are getting both pelvis and the skull, then it is increased by 8%, that is a 98%. And if we are only getting the long bones, the accuracy is 80%. So the first point is sex determination from thorax. So here is the general diagram. In thorax we are going to see, or we are considering the points that are the bones that are sternum, clavicell, scapula, thoracic cage and the ribs. So first of all, let's see the diagram of the sternum and what are the different parts of the sternum. So in sternum, here is the anterior view of a sternum. So first point is the clavicular notch. It is an oval articulation surface directed upwards, backward, lateralward for the articulation purpose. Then next is the jugular notch. It is a neck dent and large visible deep between the neck and the manubrium. Now what is manubrium? Manubrium is stated as the head of the sternum. Then after manubrium, it is the sternal angle. Sternal angle states that a joint formed by articulation of manubrium and corpus sterni or the body of sternum. So this is the head of the sternum. Then next up is the sternal angle. Then after the sternal angle, there is a body of sternum, or it is stated as corpus sterni, and at last it is the xiphoid process. And here is the anterior view of skeleton of thorax. Now in thorax on the left side, it is the sternum only that we have discussed earlier. That is a jugular notch, then manubrium and the body of sternum and xiphoid process. Here is the clavicular notch, then clavicell or the collar bones, then scapula, it is a triangular bone on the backside of the body, then sternal angle, again a joint formed by articulation of manubrium and the corpus sterni, then costal cartilages, they are the bars of hyaline cartilage that serve to prolong the lips forward and contribute elasticity of the walls of thorax. Then intercostal space. Intercostal space is an anatomic space between the two ribs. So here we have taken the basic diagram over here, and in diagram we have discussed about the sternum and the skeleton of thorax. So again here the thorax include 4 points that are the ribs, clavicell or the collarbones, sternum and the thoracic cage. So here is the first point, that is the sex determination from thoracic cage. In general appearance, thoracic cage is longer and narrower in male and the shorter and wider in females. Here on the Here in the figure only we can see it is the longer and narrower in the males, and it is shorter and wider in the female. Then sex determination from sternum. So first is the body. Body is longer in males and smaller in female. Then breadth is more in male and less in females. Then length of the body. Generally in the sternum, the length of the body is twice of its manubrium or more than twice. So in male, the body length is more than twice length of the manubrium, that is the head of the sternum. And in female, the length of the body is less than the twice of the length of manubrium. So in male, जो भी मतलब बॉडी लेंथ है स्टर्नम का, वो मेन्यूब्रियम है, उसका हेड है, उसकी जो लेंथ है उससे ट्वाइस होगा या फिर उससे भी ज़्यादा, मोर देन द ट्वाइस ऑफ द मेन्यूब्रियम. एंड इन फीमेल इट इज लेस देन द ट्वाइस ऑफ द मेन्यूब्रियम और द हेड ऑफ द स्टर्नम. एंड upper margin of sternum is in the level with the lower body of thoracic vertebrae, and in female upper margin of sternum is in the level of lower part of the second thoracic part of the body of the third vertebrae. Now length is more than 149 mm, and in female it is less than 149 mm. So here that is the ratio of manubrium to the body of sternum in male and female. So here is the male sternum and here is the female. We can see this is the manubrium and the body length is more than the twice of its manubrium, and in female this is manubrium and the body length is less than the twice of its manubrium. And here in the figure we can see the length of the whole sternum in the female and male. As comparing point of view, we are saying that the length of the whole sternum including the head and the xiphoid process, it is more in the male and less in the female. Now sex determination from ribs and clavicle. So ribs are thicker, larger, heavier, with lesser curvature and are less oblique, and in female they are thinner, shorter, with greater curvature and more oblique. Clavicle or the collarbone, it is longer in males, that is about 151 to 153 mm. It is broader, heavier and less curved, and in female the clavicle is smaller, narrower, that is about 138 mm, lighter and more curved. So here is the male clavicle and the female clavicle. In male clavicle, perforations within the bone are more in the males. Perforations, we can say the small holes present in the bones. Here in the figure also we can see this dot projections, that are the perforations are more in the male, and in female perforations are less. Here we can see a clear bone, and clavicle is with the greater curve in the female and it is less curve in the male clavicle, and the female clavicle is lighter and shorter and compared to the male. Now sex determination from femur. It is the most useful of the long bones, its length and massiveness themselves being significant in a suggesting sex. Now in femur we are going to compare. The femur is the thigh bone and the longest bone. So as compared to the single bone, femur सबसे ज़्यादा कैपेबल है, क्योंकि उसके अंदर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स हमें मिलेंगे कंपैरिजन के लिए, और it would give accuracy result compared to the other bones. In femur we are going to see the features like head, Neck bicondylar with angulations of shaft with the condyles and popliteal length. Now head is larger and forms about 2 to third of the spear, vertical diameter more than 47 mm. Smaller and forms less than 2/3 of a spear, vertical diameter is less than 45. Now neck in the male states an obtuse angle with the shaft. It makes an obtuse angle and that is about 125 degree, and in female it makes less obtuse angle with the shaft and almost a right angle. Bicondylar width is 74 to 89 mm in male and 67 to 76 mm in female. Angulation of shaft with condyles are around 80 degree, and in female it is around 76 degree. Then popliteal length is 135 to 145 millimeter, and in female it is 106 to 114 millimeter. We have studied this whole points, but what this means the angulation of shaft with condyles. Shaft is the body of the femur and condyles that are the rounded protuberous end which forms the articulation with the another bone, and popliteal length states it is related to the back part of the leg behind the knee. Now here we can see the neck of the femur makes an right angle in the female and it makes an obtuse angle over the male, that is about 125 degree angle, and other is the angulation of shaft with the condyles. This is the shaft of the femur bone and here are the condyles. In male it makes an angle of 80 degree. This is the male, and in female it makes an angle of 76 degree. There is obvious sexual dimorphism in human femur. Muscle attachments and weight bearing surfaces are markedly larger in males. Here it states the point A and the B. A is the muscle attachments over here and B it is the weight bearing surfaces. So it makes they are the larger in males compared to the female, and other is the intercondylar notch. Here we can see the difference in size of the intercondylar notches. It is smaller in male and larger in the female. So the next point is sex determination from vertebral column. So here are the features that we are going to study. So first is the general appearance. In male, the general architecture and impressions of muscular markings are prominent, and in female it is less prominent. Then the next up is the total length of the spinal column. In male it is approximately about 70 centimeter and in female it is approximately about 60 centimeter. The next up is the breadth of the atlas vertebra. Atlas is the first vertebra and its breadth in male is 7.4 to 9.9 centimeter and in female it is 6.5 to 7.6 centimeter. The next up is the corporobasal index of sacrum, that is the breadth of first sacral vertebrae upon breadth of the base of the sacrum into 100. That is corporobasal index of sacrum. In male it is 45 and in female it is 40.5. The human spinal cord is 45 centimeter long in male and 43 centimeter long in woman. The next point is sex determination from long bones. Normally, long bones alone are not used to estimate the gender. However, if these bones are only one present, there are the certain characteristics that can be used for the sex determination. So basically जब भी हमें खाली लॉन्ग बोन्स मिलते हैं या तो फिर जनरली हमें लॉन्ग बोन्स हम लोग इतना यूज़ नहीं करते सेक्स एस्टिमेशन के लिए, बट फ्रॉम द सीन ऑफ क्राइम we have only got the long bones, that is the bone that are the tibia, then fibula, radius, ulna or the humerus. Then we are using or we are comparing the certain characteristics, and we are estimating the sex. For example, maximum length of humerus in female it is 305.9 mm, and while in male it is 339.0 mm in males. So we can compare this feature, that is the maximum length of the humerus, and we can get a certain idea about the gender. And other is the medullary index of the bones. The sex of long bones can be determined on the basis of their medullary index. Now what is the medullary index? It is the diameter of medulla upon the diameter of shaft into 100. The tibia, humerus, ulna, radius are the most reliable bones for this purpose. So in sex determination from various bones, we have gone through the skull, mandible, pelvis, sacrum over the first part, and in second part we have studied about sex determination from thorax, femur, that is a thigh bone, then vertebral column, and at last the sex estimation from the medullary index of the long bones. Thank you.